You are watching Kill Chain Radio, the source for cybersecurity news and trends.
Good afternoon, Kill Chain Radio, part 2. Me, Len Noe, Hacker 213. With me, my co-host, Brian, also known as Vic Variable.
Happy to be here.
And we are lucky and fortunate enough that we are going to actually sit down and spend a little time with one of our dear friends, Mr. Chris Glandon, better known to the world as Prophet. You want to explain your name there, Prophet?
Well, you actually gave me the name Prophet. I was hunting for a hacker handle, and I think you were the one who told me you can't create your own hacker handle. It must be bestowed upon you. So I think one night we were just sitting down having some drinks, and I had just did a talk called Algorithmic Fate, which talked about the future of AI and how it can be used to predict outcomes of humanity. And you said, you're the Prophet. That's your name, Prophet. But we're going to spell it PR0PH-1T for IT.
And the reason was?
The reason was because I will tell you the future, but you have to pay me for it.
You got a profit.
You got a profit off of it, so I love it.
So glad to have you on here, man. You coming into our life, it has been such an amazing thing. CCN has really opened up not just, the cyber cognition with me and Hutch, but now you've got, the Kill Chain Radio with Brian. So Brian and I have sat back and we did the run book for you was just fun.
Okay.
So why don't you go ahead and start it off here, B?
Gotcha. So, what is Barcode now? It sounds like it's gone through quite the development from its original starting point. And people might know the podcast, but not necessarily the larger ecosystem. What would you say you do now?
That's a good question. I think I'm Prophet, yeah. I think the Barcode trajectory changes daily. Mm-hmm. But I think really again, you mentioned it started out as the podcast, as just a labor of love, just trying to get myself into the community and talk to people that I wanted to talk to during the COVID pandemic, and it was a way for me to reach out and sort of give back to the community at that time. But then I started putting services with it. So I started offering up risk assessments and pen testing services with the podcast. It's sort of,
You gotta be able to pay for your
yeah, exactly. I just wanted overhead, just pay for the overhead and be good with it. And then from there,
it turned into a drinking social club.
It turned into a drinking social club, which was the end game.
And you don't have to pay for your alcohol. So I see how this works.
Right.
But we haven't even touched on the fact that you have taken cyber education and awareness, and you've taken it into a completely different direction with both Inhuman and my documentary, I Am Machine. So I don't know how many people realize that you are, in my opinion, one of the better amateur filmmakers, and you've dedicated a lot of your projects around cyber back, to that whole point of community and giving back.
Yeah, so I've always been a filmmaker in a sense. Even before I got into cyber, I went to school for film.
What videos you take with your cell phone in a bathroom are nobody's business but yours, Chris.
Yeah.
So that leads to my question. When you're making cybersecurity documentaries, how do you balance that cinematic engagement, making a good product that people want to watch, and being technically truthful and educational?
Yeah, I mean, that's super important for me because
you gotta have a good subject. Hi.
Yeah, exactly. Right here. But you wanted, we see this too many times where someone that's not within the industry puts out a film or puts out a TV show, and it's very hard to get close to realism. So I wanted to create that
instantly.
You can sniff it out instantly. So with this, I wanted to have something cinematic, have something entertaining for a mass audience, but have it also be real and gain that respect from within the industry.
And that's the difference, because I remember when you released Inhuman. Mm-hmm. I'll freely admit my personal favorite film you've ever done was mine, but
sure.
I'm a little biased. But I remember sitting at the Barcode Lounge when you played Inhuman that first time, and it was like, geez, oh, peas. This is straight up like Geraldo Rivera style interviewing, but it's something that I want to watch. So it was weird seeing, even though it was amateur by the fact that you're not a professional filmmaker. The quality was amazing, and the content was there, and it was very. To me, it kind of spun everything on its head. It's like you took podcasting, you took the outreach, and you found a medium that I don't think anybody else in the community is actually doing.
Well, I appreciate it, man, and it's something that I love doing. I love storytelling, and I think that's the root cause of why I started the podcast, was to be able to tell other people's stories. And then, there was a time where it hit, and I said, let me just do this on screen, and I enjoy doing it. So, and thank you for being part of my second award-winning documentary.
4 awards.
4 awards. So yeah, I'm gonna keep it going.
So I feel like in the space, the word influencer feels a little cursed these days.
I feel so icky.
Do you think it's like a tainted term, or do you think it's a tool that people can use responsibly?
I think that it's a tool, but I don't like that term.
Mm-hmm. None of us do.
I don't like that term at all. I think there's a use for it, and I think if it's used properly, it's a good tool to have. But yeah,
I think it's kind of like that old expression of, how do I put this? I got to be careful how I say this. If you call yourself an influencer, it's bad.
Yes.
If other people call you an influencer, it's a compliment.
Yes, completely agree.
Further to that, what sort of content makes you guys cringe? Like, to me, when I see somebody talking about an ESP32, I almost instantly tune out if it's from a cyber perspective. Because I'm like, you just took an off-the-shelf thing you barely understand. There's outliers, but those are the kind that make me just recoil when I see them.
People who say Hack 5 is the greatest equipment in the world. Not that there's anything wrong with Hack 5, but that's your entry point.
Yeah, they don't know dangerous things yet.
Exactly. They don't know about implants. They don't know about. We're not going to go down that road.
Yeah, I mean, cringeworthy, because I've worked with you and I've sort of studied transhumanism to a point where, like, to make that documentary, I had to make it real, which meant I had to learn. And so sometimes when I see a headline or I read an article on transhumanism, I cringe because it's not to the level that I feel like I'm familiar with.
Well, people like myself and you and Vic down there, he's transhuman as well. He's actually got the blinky LED.
Yeah. Not to mention there's the different other angle of medical, like DME medical supplies.
Yeah, he's more transhuman than I am in that way. Without giving up too much of your PII here, type 1 diabetes runs in our family. How I haven't got it with the fact that I live on like energy drinks is still a complete fascination.
I always hated that saying because I think the problem was nobody ran in my family. That's how we all got it.
Yeah, maybe we were a little bit more active. But he's medically transhuman. He's got the CGMs. He's got the insulin pumps. Once you go down the road that we've all gone, we understand this stuff at a completely different level.
Yes.
But that still keeps the transhumanism and the human augmentation is still completely separate from cyber.
Yes.
In most cases.
It is. And you typically read like the negative side of that too. And those are the articles I really cringe at, because it's like,
oh, I love the ones where they say, just because I have a credit card in my hand, I have the mark of the beast. That's still one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Like I've said a million times, who knew that Visa was the mark?
To our listeners at home, after this, definitely finish watching our video, but go check out Jenny, Don't Go to the Supermarket. It's a wonderful sort of time capsule to that whole, there's always going to be some sort of hysteria about new technology.
oh yeah.
So what projects do you have coming up next, man? I mean, are we going to do I Am Machine Part 2, We Are Machine?
Yeah, I'm down.
All right, so.
I'm down. I think we signed that in the initial contract.
I think we might have, and when we get done here, I actually have something for you to look at.
All right.
So that may be a teaser. And one of the things, and I know you and we can't give specifics, but I've been getting asked all over when are people going to be able to get access to I Am Machine?
Yeah.
And we are currently in negotiations with a couple of different distribution channels, and correct me if I'm wrong, we're hoping for sometime around, hopefully by October, November-ish?
Yes, that's the plan. I don't know if we can say the distribution channels.
We can't say we're not going to say the distribution channels, but let's just say anybody who has a streaming device should have the ability to be able to get access to the film.
Absolutely, and we're still doing screenings. You did a screening last week
In Austin. I still have, and to anybody in the Metro Detroit area, I still need to bring this back home. And when I do Detroit, I need to get you there. But the prodigal son, or I'm not the prodigal son, the reject son does need to do a screening of his movie back home. So if there's a facility that would like to help, give us a space that we can, show this at, reach out to me or my publicist. We would love to talk to you.
Yeah, only way to see it right now is through screenings or wait until that.
Screenings.
Yep, and wait till that release.
So when you're making this sort of content, do you feel like there's a responsibility that cyber creators owe to their viewers?
Truth. Mm-hmm. Yeah, truth. I think that was one of the core reasons, I think, when we spoke, that you allowed me to create this movie, because I'm sure there were other opportunities for you. So I think having that core truth and having the realness come out from within the industry, I feel like we owe that to the industry and owe that to the community.
Gotcha.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. We're either the wizards, the magicians, or we are the terrorists and the problem.
Yeah.
Influence, and we can even jump over to the concept of Wynne Schwartz's meta-war for just a half a second.
Yeah.
Those of us in the positions of trusted experts, we can help push influence and help push policy and decisions. So to your point, I think anyone, whether you're making film or even just doing podcasts like this, we owe it to our listeners to give them the truth and let them make up their own minds.
Yes.
So to push on that a little bit, have you heard of the idea of like lies to children? Simplifying something very complex so people can learn it before they
completely understand it.
They completely understand it.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever had to do that in any of your storytelling? And how did you balance that
with your predictive AI, I'm sure.
Yeah. So explain that one more time. Just being able to
dumbing it down.
Like there's certain concepts that are hard to explain for people that don't have an in-depth knowledge.
Yes.
How do you balance that with still being truthful? And could you give me an example?
I mean, I think that's where the visual comes in.
Mm-hmm.
Like being able to portray it in action, so someone can actually see what's happening, versus reading a book or just explaining it. So for me, dumbing it down is like, let me show you the proof that this is possible.
So you're going to bust out the Crayolas and draw on a picture.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have you ever had to avoid anything just because it was too easy to misrepresent, or you thought maybe the audience would have some issues with it?
No, because I like pushing those boundary lines.
The only thing that I think falls into that category is actually your grandfather and all of his comments that we had to leave on the editing room floor.
Who did he tell to piss up a rope?
No, he didn't tell me. No, but I'll say this one, because this to me was one of the greatest outtakes of the movie. We asked my father, or Chris asked my father, how do you feel Len's contribution to society is going to be seen in the future, considering he's pushing the transhuman movement? And my father, always supportive, gotta love Pops.
Yeah.
He was like, honestly, I think Len's an idiot, and anybody who follows him is an idiot too. It was like, okay, that's not making the final cut.
You know your dad was the real star of that.
I know,
yeah.
I know.
I've told you that since the day I interviewed him.
And for those of you, when you watch the movie, I'm going to tell you that there are a bunch of Easter eggs, and one of them is in my father's scenes. Just pay close attention.
Yes.
We did so much with that film, and I'm so grateful for the opportunity you gave me, man.
Well, no, thank you, man. I think it was the first time I met you and heard your story. I was already searching for my next project, and I knew immediately that that's the one I wanted to tell. So thank you for allowing me to do that.
It's been a real pleasure, man.
So as the director of I Am Machine, do you think there's anything you noticed in Len's story that he might not have been able to see from inside it?
Ooh, good question.
That's a deep question there.
I am self-aware. I think.
Therefore you are?
I think the only thing that I saw really was the love and admiration that people have for him. I think you recognize that too, but just seeing it in person and seeing the feedback from his public talks and like how he's connecting with people. So just from the outside looking in, that's something that I definitely pay close attention to.
Gotcha. If it's all right with you guys, I think I would have a closing question and a follow-up here.
Yeah.
Now, what would you tell somebody getting into cybersecurity, or somebody that's in the space that wants to become a creator or, God forbid, an influencer?
Well, first of all, don't try and become an influencer. Just do your thing.
Yeah. Don't try. I think that would probably be number one. Let that come naturally. But if they want to do content creating, I would say, number one, reach out to me, reach out to Len, reach out to the CCN. I mean, these are we're an open book. We love connecting with new people and answering questions like that. But then also like create content that you're genuinely interested in, something that you don't feel like is work or that you feel like you need to deliver on something. So take a topic within security and just focus on that. Do YouTube, do a podcast, do whatever time allows you to do, and it'll just grow organically from there.
Gotcha. Yeah, definitely always harping back to the community. Like our last guest mentioned, this community's always willing to help people that are putting in the work.
And that was going to be my comment. I love how you started, contact CCN. Podcasters, for the most part, you can do it on your own, but it's so much harder. And the cybersecurity community, if you ask me, is, to Brian's point, we help each other. We try to be there for each other. We support each other. Get with some people that have done it. Join a group, whether it's CCN, ITSP. Yep. There are distribution networks, just like there's community within cyber. There's community within cyber podcasters as well. And 9 times out of 10, you're going to get advice, you're going to get help. And, I think the end goal for all of us that are doing this is to move the needle forward, whether it's us in front of the cameras or somebody else. I don't know too many people who do what we do who get jealous or, try to stop someone else's forward momentum. We're all pushing for the same thing at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
I would say my next follow-up to that is, what would you tell them not to do?
Get into cyber.
Just be an accountant. They never complained.
Actually, with AI, become a plumber.
Yeah.
I would say don't try to be a carbon copy of someone else.
Gotcha.
Like there's a lot of podcasters out there, and I think the ones that thrive and are successful and have longevity are the ones who kind of create and blaze their own path and their own style. Yeah. So don't try to mimic someone else's style. Be your own self, and that will take you far.
I definitely agree. You got to find your own voice, and especially this audience, but really any audience, they can tell when people are passionate.
Absolutely. I was just going to say, be real.
Be real.
Whether that is cyber, whether that is, makeup, whether it's whatever, just be real, because real at the end of the day will recognize real.
And people are attracted to that sort of energy. Like if people are putting in the effort to a community and they're genuinely passionate about something, other people recognize that.
Agreed. So, and we're running out of time. Chris, this is just the next step on a very long road together. Brian, glad to have you on board here. I think you're going to be an amazing addition to Kill Chain.
Happy to be
here. Till next time, you got any? Take us out, Chris.
No, thanks for having me. I appreciate you as always. It's always good to see you. Nice to meet you as well.
Nice to meet you as well in person.
You can find me at barcodesecurity.com. That's it.
Oh, and in closing, I did tell Brian to ask you one question that he failed to mention, so I'm going to do it. Would you like to tell the audience about the official Barcode drink? The bottle cap.
Oh, the bottle cap, yes. Well, actually, you do the bottle cap.
Well, no, you made it the official drink of Barcode.
I did.
So if anybody's ever seen me, one of my favorite tricks to do is the magnet in my finger. I'll hold a bottle cap. And at Chris's first Barcode event that I went to, I walked up and asked the bartender for a bottle cap to try and do my trick, and she actually came back out with a drink.
Oh.
And if anybody remembers, not everybody, anybody that's over the age of 30 might remember the old bottle cap sweet tart candies. Yeah. This drink tastes just like one of those. So when you show up in Vegas and you make it to the Barcode event at the Barcode Lounge, because God knows Chris lives there.
I do.
Be sure to have a bottle cap and tell them that Chris sent you. Yes. Until next time, for Len Noe, Brian.
Over and out.
Kill Chain Radio, deuces.